My story starts years ago. My husband and I have been married for 11 years and together for 16, which is roughly half of my life now. He has always been a drinker, but working in the oil fields, he became increasingly more of a drinker, which I tried to ignore. We had 3 sons together, which made it a lot easier to ignore his drinking because I was so focused on our babies. Then December 30th of this year, my husband came home intoxicated when I was supposed to be going to work. It was about 6:30 at night. I worked night shifts as a nurse, and he showed up and had a friend driving him, which is unusual in itself. And when I went outside and got upset, I told him that I was going to divorce him and that I just couldn't do it anymore. So he proceeded to stay with his friends and drink more. I took my kids to a babysitter and went to work. About 11:30 that night, I got a phone call from the sheriff's office telling me to either come get my husband or he was going to jail. So, of course, being the codependent person I was, I went and picked him up. He went right into the house, went to bed, passed out while I stewed all night long. The next morning when we got up, I expected the usual, "I'm sorry, it won't happen again, I can't believe I did that." And instead he looked at me and said, "I can't do this anymore, I'm going to kill myself." So I kind of sat there for a minute, not really knowing what to do and upset and crying, and I just didn't know where to turn. He went downstairs and I told him, there's no choice here. You either go get help or I'm calling the police. And he told me that go ahead and call the police, but he'd be dead before they got there. And I had no doubt in my mind that he would be. So I got online and Journey was one that popped up. I called them right away. They were very nice. They told me, it's probably about 9 o'clock in the morning when I called. They told me, "Here's the list of stuff you need, get it in a bag and bring him down. By 1 o'clock we'll have a spot open, we're ready for you." So he, of course, didn't really want to go. I called his sister who came over and kind of helped me talk him into it, if you will. Loaded him in a car with all the belongings and came down here. When I got here, we were greeted at the front door by a very nice man and a lady named Linda who helped me fill out all the paperwork, who took our insurance information, who took the payment, who explained everything to me, where he'd be staying, how things would go, that I couldn't talk to him for the first week or so. Then I left, of course, crying uncontrollably while he sat there stunned that I dropped him off in the first place. And the first week went by. I came to the first Saturday meeting. Ryan was very quiet. He didn't have a lot of interaction with me. He just sat there pretty solemn. And I went to one of the counselors and told him, this isn't how you can leave my husband. I don't know what to do with him. It's been 5 days. I wanted him better. And she just kept telling me, give it time. Each week was a vast improvement. 28 days does not sound like a long time, but by the end of that, it was all I could do to get him to leave here. He absolutely loved it. He felt comfortable. All he could talk about was all the spiritual interactions he had and how, he knew that it was a place for him to be. We felt comfortable here, my sister-in-law and I, who came down to visit, of course, every week. They always made us feel welcome. They just did a wonderful job. They even now continue to, anytime we need to come down, we're able to come down and talk to a counselor or just go to a family meeting and kind of refresh on what we've already learned. Our family is back to being a family. I can trust him with my kids. I don't have to worry anymore about if he's going to kill someone in a car wreck, if he's going to end up dead. I don't wait for the phone to ring in the police station to tell me that he's in jail. It's just a whole new life, and it's much better. So that's our story.